Divorce already drains you emotionally. Don't let it drain your wallet too. The truth, most people walk into divorce financially blindfolded, hoping that the court is just going to magically make it fair. Spoiler alert, that is not how it actually works. Today, we're going to talk about how to keep your money, your credit, and your future intact while your marriage falls apart. And yes, I've put together a free guide called Get Your Finances Right. You'll find it in the description. Grab it before your ex does. All right, let's talk about why money becomes a blood sport in divorce. Divorce isn't just about who keeps the dog or the beach house. It's about assets, debts, and the long-term security of two people who now have to live separately. That's double the bills, double the stress, and sometimes double the drama. But here's the kicker. Courts don't care about fairness in the way you might think. They care about laws, documentation, and math. If you don't know what you've got, you're going to lose what you should have kept. And I have seen too many people who are actually pretty smart make catastrophic money mistakes because they were too focused on the heartbreak to pay attention to the bottom line. Step 1, know what you own and what you owe. Think of this as financial X-ray vision. You need to see through the emotional fog and make sure that you're getting your numbers straight. Things like bank accounts, investments, and retirement, to credit cards, student loans, and mortgages. And yes, even that Peloton bike that is still on a payment plan. If it exists, it matters. And if you don't list it, guess who just might walk away with it? Not you. Let me tell you, I had a client a few years ago who once forgot about a tiny stock account that her grandmother left her. And guess what? By the time the divorce rolled around, that became the hot button issue in the divorce. Why? Because it wasn't so tiny anymore. The husband's lawyer pounced on it and it blew up. I tell you this to remind you that details matter. Now let's talk about your post-divorce budget. Divorce means 2 households, not 1. That's 2 rents, 2 mortgages, 2 utility bills, 2 Netflix accounts, and 2 everything else. Because let's face it, you're not sharing anymore. You need a budget, and I'm not talking about the fantasy kind, the real hard number kind. You have to look at your income, your expenses, and factor in child support or alimony if it applies in your situation. Because here's the reality. I've watched people spend like their marriage never ended, and 6 months later, they're broke, furious, and blaming the divorce. But the truth is, it wasn't the divorce that actually broke them. It was the lack of a plan that did. Now, cash is queen because divorce comes with hidden price tags. Legal fees, moving costs, therapy bills, and maybe even replacing that mysteriously missing flat screen TV. Keep liquid cash on hand. No, this doesn't mean cashing out your 401k like it's a piggy bank. I mean an emergency fund, money you can actually reach without triggering taxes and penalties. Because judges don't hand out emergency checks and your landlord won't accept "I'm in litigation" as rent. Now, the silent killers are credit and debt. Here's the sneaky part. Debt doesn't just disappear because you split. If your name is on that credit card, the creditor doesn't care that the judge told your ex to pay it. If they default, the collectors are coming for you. So what do? It's best to close joint accounts early on where possible. Open accounts in your name in order to build independent credit. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself rebuilding your life with a 580 credit score, and that is not a fun fresh start. Let's talk about the Beyonce rule. The Beyonce rule is update your paperwork so your ex doesn't end up cashing your life insurance check while Single Ladies plays in the background. Seriously, review wills, trusts, retirement accounts. Divorce doesn't automatically fix beneficiary designations. If you forget, your ex could inherit your money intended for your kids or other family. Courts can't magically rewrite contracts. Taxes and support, this is where people panic. And this is where it gets really fun. Alimony, retirement splits, property transfers, they all have tax consequences. And no, the IRS doesn't care that you were too busy binge watching your ex's Instagram stories to file correctly. Child support, non-deductible. Alimony depends on when your divorce was finalized. It can be messy and it can sneak up on you like a plot twist in a bad Netflix series. So get a tax pro involved early on before the damage is done. Lastly, don't let emotions wreck your wallet. Retail therapy feels great for about 15 minutes. Then the credit card bill hits and suddenly you've bought heartbreak and debt. I've seen people drain savings to win the divorce, buying cars, blowing cash on trips, or fighting over a sofa that cost less than 1 hour of lawyer's fees. But here's the truth. Winning the couch isn't winning the war. Strategic choices are. You gotta rebuild smart. Divorce isn't about going broke, it's about rebalancing. Start thinking, how will I rebuild my savings? What retirement goals need adjusting? Which expenses can I cut or renegotiate? The people who thrive post-divorce aren't the ones who won the trial. They're the ones who had a plan, stayed calm, and treated their money like their future depended on it, because it does. So here's the bottom line. Divorce will change your life, but it doesn't have to completely wreck your finances. Knowledge is leverage, and the earlier you start protecting your money, the better off you're gonna be. If you want the step-by-step playbook, download my free e-guide, Get Your Finances Right. The link is in the description. It'll walk you through the must-dos without drowning you in legal jargon. I'm Ellen Wright, an attorney in Massachusetts. Remember, a heartbreak might be inevitable, but bankruptcy doesn't have to be. Protect your wallet, protect your future, because losing your spouse is hard enough. You don't need to lose all of your savings too.